fans are beginning to worry a little bit about Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six, so let's talk about them now. This week marks a whole month since the Wyatt Six last TV appearance. When they initially made their debut, we saw even a little bit of their stuff on Raw each week. However, their appearances began to diminish to once every 2 weeks or once every few weeks once Raw turned into 2 hours. However, the Wyatts are nowhere to be seen now that Raw has returned to having a window that is almost 3 hours long, and even SmackDown has a window that is 3 hours long. Additionally, the Wyatt Six move to SmackDown was announced by WWE. However, there was not a single mention of Wyatt on the January 17th program of SmackDown, which was the group's first appearance as SmackDown stars. Nothing at all, no teasers, no hints, no appearances. Fans are quite concerned for the Wyatts because they did not participate in the 3-hour SmackDown show right after they finished their practice. For the entire time, supporters believe that their appearances were restricted because of time constraints, but it's beginning to appear that creative problems are to blame. They simply have nothing to do at the moment. Many fans thought the feud with the Final Testament would go on, or perhaps even start a new feud against the Day of Judgment, but the move to SmackDown rules out both possibilities. The Wyatts appear to have formally entered a state of limbo. They have a new beginning and a blank canvas on SmackDown, but regrettably, it appears that they are not being given priority. Fans are already speculating what the Wyatt Six will do next. Will they just be utilized in a restricted capacity going forward, essentially functioning as a one-time event that isn't a permanent component of the program? Because they're waiting for a tale to begin with Alexa Bliss, some fans are even questioning whether the trio is currently off television. Although Alexa will soon return, it is unknown if she will be associated with the Wyatt Six. Perhaps Alexa will be involved, and that's what the Wyatts are anticipating before they're rewritten for television? There are a lot of unknowns there, but maybe the Wyatts will appear on SmackDown soon. However, what do you think of the stories from today? Please share your thoughts below. Remember to subscribe with all alerts enabled, and hit like if you liked it. Many fans are still excited about the WWE and TNA alliance because of the numerous opportunities for significant crossovers. As we stated earlier in the week, fans are still having high hopes for their crossover expectations even if, at least on paper, it appears that the relationship is only for TNA and NXT to collaborate with one another and not much of the WWE main roster. One of the most popular fan ideas at the time this alliance was revealed was that John Cena will cross over and show up on TNA television. Something like that would be making the most of the alliance because John Cena has never appeared on TNA television and has essentially not worked for any other wrestling promotion worldwide since becoming a tremendous star in WWE. Since 2025 will be John Cena's final year competing, this is the last opportunity for crossovers and bizarre dream situations. How crazy would it be, then, if John Cena made an appearance on TNA television as part of his farewell tour? Perhaps it would be for a brief promotional visit or a one-off match inside the TNA ring. The current TNA World Champion, Joe Hendry, was generating a lot of noise when he claimed to have seen himself competing against John Cena in 2025. What if that's how things work out? When John Cena visits TNA to take advantage of their alliance, what if he wants to wrestle their top man, their world champion? In that case, Joe Hendry would be Cena's opponent. Perhaps John Cena becomes desperate and wants to risk losing the TNA World title. What if Cena wants to win the TNA World title in that match? He has already stated that he wants to win several major singles and even some world titles during this final tour. It would be quite crazy, and when you consider must-see television that benefits both businesses, you can sure that all TNA and WWE fans will be glued to TNA for John Cena's final appearance. Technically, it would be John Cena's first and final appearance in TNA. The biggest thing that could ever result from this alliance would be a major one-night event featuring John Cena in TNA. John Cena further fueled this fan speculation by sharing the TNA and WWE logos on his Instagram page. Additionally, we already talked about John Cena's Instagram accounts, although he utilizes it to share pictures without captions that might be unclear. Was John Cena merely recognizing the relationship, or was he also hinting at a TNA appearance? We must wait for that response. Let's start with Solo because there is a lot of discussion about how things were handled there. After losing the Tribal Combat match, Solo's entire narrative and direction clearly changed. He did state that he would honor and respect the outcome of the match, regardless of the outcome. He would actually no longer be able to call himself the Tribe Chief if he lost. And that's precisely what occurred. Solo Sikoa fell to Roman in that match, so it's over. Following that significant defeat, fans wanted to know what would happen to Solo Sikoa. Will Solo simply vanish and be unreachable for a very long time? This is essentially what happened to Roman during WrestleMania 40, or will Solo Sikoa remain and continue to exist? After the Tribal Combat loss, Solo was unable to attend the SmackDown, but they were already promoting his return for the following week in that same episode. As we move on to the January 17th episode of SmackDown, Solo Sikoa makes a huge comeback, something nobody anticipated at all. Tama and Jacob attack Carmelo Hayes and Jimmy Uso to get out of the ring. Solo stands in the center of the ring with a microphone, but he drops it and leaves the arena through the spectators. After that, Jacob Fatu took the stage and told the crowd that he was just starting out and that he was sick of all the hostility and disrespect. According to numerous reports, the creative was apparently changing Solo Sikoa's part till the very last minute, so they decided to go with that. That Solo Sikoa left without saying anything. For what reason did Solo do this? Perhaps the character believed that after taking that week off, he would be fine, but after leaving, he simply felt the pressure and is still sad about losing to Roman. It appears that the plot is finally taking the turn that many fans anticipated, with Jacob Fatu having no alternative but to ascend to power and assume leadership of the new lineage while Solo Sikoa disappears for a considerable period of time. Furthermore, it appears that Solo Sikoa's departure from SmackDown may resurface in the future and lead to further turmoil. Solo simply departed and treated Tama and Jacob like nothing, not even informing them of his intention to go. Jacob will therefore have plenty of opportunity to establish himself as a deserving leader for the new bloodline, provided Solo Sikoa will be absent for a respectable period of time. When Solo Sikoa returns at that point, he typically expects things to be exactly as it was before, but that won't be the case. It appears quite improbable that Jacob Fatu will permit Solo Sikoa to just return whenever he pleases and regain his leadership role after he has been in charge of the group for so many weeks while leaving them in the dark. They appear to be preparing for a major altercation between Jacob and Solo when Solo returns and expects Jacob to return to the line as the enforcer. Jacob is likely to harbor resentment towards Solo for abandoning them in such a manner, so watch what Jacob Fatu does up here in the upcoming weeks, as it may be a prelude to that confrontation when Solo eventually returns. In a funny promo for John Cena's WWE Universal Championship matchup with Roman Reigns at SummerSlam 2021, Paul Heyman made fun of Cena's theme song on WWE SmackDown. Frequently portrayed in a somber capacity, Heyman typically commands the WWE Universe to recognize Reigns as their tribal chief. However, his performance of Cena's theme song has undoubtedly turned into one of the WWE Hall of Famer's most humorous moments of his career. Heyman recalled on his iconic promo with Cena while speaking on Impulsive, where he also reminisced about the 2005 ECW resurgence and breaking The Undertaker's streak with Brock Lesnar. He clarified that the 16-time world champion didn't care that he would make fun of him in advance. "The reason I adore John Cena is that I approached him and told him, 'I expect you to tear into us.' He says, 'That's a reasonable expectation. Would you like to know my retort?' I asked. 'No,' he responds. I said, 'My answer is a little odd.' And he responded, 'Great, I'll respond to it naturally. You sure you don't want to know this?' I asked. His response is, 'Nope, you can't see me and I can't hear you right now,' he replied, and turned to leave." Heyman went on to say that Cena was laughing his ass off following the backstage promo, but he acknowledged that he had responded flawlessly to the current jeering of his theme music.